Good evening, everyone. My name is Amber Berryhill, and this is my recording on postmortem caloricity. So I picked this because I didn't know what it was, and I thought it'd be really interesting to go over something that I didn't know about. And it looks like what postmortem caloricity is it is a raise in the body temperature that is abnormal. Usually you'll see between 2 degrees of a raise in temperature. However, with postmortem caloricity, this is much higher and causes a much more bigger issue. So a lot of the causes for this are really violent muscular contractions, asphyxiation, cholera, temperature regulation disorders, sunstroke, various bacterial illnesses, as well as alcohol poisoning. So changes that happen to the body because of this would be your blood coagulating, muscles are going to break down faster, and bacteria is going to multiply quicker. As an example, MRSA and septicemia can cause the postmortem temp changes, and since those are bacteriums, they have a home to multiply in. So what you've got is you've got a speed up of all of our decomp problems. So as embalmers, we're going to have to combat that and really work to fix these up. These are pictures I put here for how MRSA works in the body, as well as what septicemia does to the skin. You're looking at a lot of lividity, and when we get these types of bodies, not only are we going to want to suit up really well, as you would with any case, but you also want to make sure to get that lividity out of the body. With embalming, what you saw earlier, you're going to want to get rid of that reddish stain. And the reason you're going to see this is because heat really just speeds things up. You take a body that is dead, that has no longer got blood flow to it, and other things, and you've got chemical changes, and basically what you have is a recipe for disaster here. If you look at a pot of boiling water, you see all this movement. That's essentially what's happening in these bodies that are getting overheated. Now, it's not at a boiling point, but it's much more than it should be. So chemical intervention, unless it's given rather quickly, it's going to be a problem. So when dealing with these cases, it would be helpful to know the cause of death because you can combat that caloricity. However, we don't live in a perfect world where we do know that. So really, you're just going to want to assess what's put in front of you, essentially. If you get someone that looks like they're really taking a sharp left where they shouldn't be, you're going to want to put them in the cooler, see if we can maybe slow that down if we cannot get to them right away for embalming. In preparation, you're going to want to use a higher index fluid, not so high that you turn them to stone or you turn them a terrible color, but just enough to where we're going to prevent that leakage and having to aspirate multiple times and things like that. Sometimes you can't prevent that, but really we just want to do the best that we can with what we're given. You're also going to want to probably use fluids with a nice smell to them because the breakdown of this muscle tissue or bacteria as a whole is going to create a really nasty smell, as you know. So that might be something to do. As well as you're going to want to use disc spray, which from where I've worked, we've always used disc spray on every single body that came through because that's going to help kill some of that bacteria and also help with the smell. You're going to want to keep an eye on soft tissues because this is usually going to be the first thing to go. And that's going to be what's attacked by this. And as you're putting the fluid in, obviously with all cases, but especially with these, you're going to want to make sure that lividity is going, distribution is happening. And if it's not happening, you're going to want to do some hypodermic embalming. Make sure that you get those areas really well, maybe by doing an embalming pack on those areas with lividity or things that you couldn't get rid of. And also make sure you're aspirating and watching for purge. And that is my presentation. And these are my works cited. Thank y'all.